Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new, welcome. So for today's video, I am creating this exterior speed build. Basically, it is a residential area that overlooks the beach. So I initially wanted to have my house on the beach, but unfortunately, I don't really have the proper beach layout or setup that works for my idea, so I ended up going for this, and I actually really love the way that it came out. So the first thing I'm doing is putting down some path to act as the street. Initially, I decided that I would connect the land with a bridge, but because I wanted to fit 3 houses, I felt like a bridge would be too bulky and wouldn't allow me to fit as much houses as I wanted, so I ended up filling it in. While designing this residential area, I was heavily inspired by the Netherlands. I would say that 75% of my island is inspired by the Netherlands. I went there this summer and I visited Utrecht for the first time, and honestly, I love Amsterdam, but Utrecht is so beautiful. While I was visiting the Netherlands, there was a lot of sun, a lot of people were sunbathing by the canals, and it was so amazing. And I remember somebody told me that this was the best weather they had in almost 100 years. I don't know if that's true or not, but it made me feel really grateful and blessed that I was able to visit that city at that time and experience it in its most beautiful state. So I'm very grateful for that. So the first house that I put down is Tiffany's house, and she's actually a fairly new villager on my island. I was dreamy hunting for Felicity or Olivia, and I ended up getting really tired, so I just let Tom Nook decide who was gonna fill in the new plot, and he gave me her. I don't think she's the worst character that I've seen on Animal Crossing. I think she's okay, she's cute. She reminds me of a Playboy bunny, and I don't really know if that's what the creators of Animal Crossing intended her to be, but if she asks to leave, I probably won't beg her to stay. But something I do love is her house, so that's something that I'd probably miss. After I placed my first villager house, I ended up placing down some trees, and I decided that putting trees while decorating exteriors is probably one of the most important things to do in the beginning, because sometimes I end up decorating without being mindful of where the trees are, and it just makes such a big difference when you plan where to put your trees rather than having to change a lot of things in order to get a tree in there. So after I put my tree and my villager house down, I ended up paving around it just to measure out the houses and see how much space I need before putting my next villager house. And the next villager that I put down is Raymond's house. He's actually the newest villager on my island. Tangy asked to leave the other day, and as much as I love Tangy, I just felt like I had way too many normal villagers and I still don't have all my reactions, so I let her go. I was hoping that I would find Felicity or Olivia on my dreamy hunt, and when I reached Nook Mile ticket 71, I found Raymond, and I've never had him before and I know everyone loves him, so I I thought I might as well just take him now while I have the opportunity and experience him as a villager. So after Raymond's house was placed, I continued to put the fencing around the villager houses just to section them off. Right now I am decorating Raymond's yard, and I put this clothing line in the back. I love how you could just see the little shirt peeking out. I think it looks super cute. I don't really know Raymond as a villager other than the fact that he's a smug villager, so I ended up giving him this trophy case where he could just brag to the other villagers and show off his achievements. Something interesting that actually happened while I was decorating was I found this lost bag on the floor, and once I picked it up, Kiki was the first villager there, so I asked her if the bag was hers, and she immediately said it was. And that was actually the first time a villager told me that that was their item, so that was interesting. She rewarded me with her photo, and I actually only gave Kiki one dress, and I've done errands for her, like delivering presents or delivering presents to her. I was actually surprised that she ended up giving me her photo. I always see these photos on Pinterest of people decorating their villager houses with photos outside. I think it's a super cute idea, but I've actually never seen anybody using villager photos inside their houses. And I'm actually really curious how people use them and incorporate them into their designs. So right now I am putting down some street lamps, and I really love the way that these black street lamps look with this path and this fencing. I feel like it just blends in so perfectly. So I time traveled a day forward, and as you can see, I have a new home. I really love the way that this home customization looks, and that brown is so beautiful. So while decorating Tiffany's house, I struggled a little bit. I had no idea what to put in her yard. I thought maybe I'd give her an antique vanity since she's snooty, but I ended up not liking the way it looked. I felt it was pretty odd to put a vanity in someone's front yard. So I ended up switching it out for this rattan set. So I took a little break while decorating Tiffany's house since I got a little uninspired, and I ended up customizing some document stacks and scattered paper. I created this nail nook near my house, And something I love to do is get these cardboard boxes in the labeled design, and I love putting these custom code envelopes on top of them. I feel like it's such a cute little way to like fill up space. Now I am just adding some little touches here and there. I didn't really plan to decorate one single area as a whole, so I'm just literally jumping back and forth. And I apologize for not being so consistent in designing every house by house. I just really didn't know what to do for Tiffany's house.
Depression creeps up on you quietly.
So I felt like Tiffany's house was still a little bare even though I put stuff around, so I crafted her a clothesline and a wooden bookshelf. Basically what I'm gonna do is copy the same thing I did for Raymond. So I ended up crafting some old-fashioned wash tubs and I put them in front of the clotheslines. I really love combining these two items together. I feel like they just were made for each other. So now I am decorating that dreaded spot. I ended up getting a phone box. I tried to fit it in there to make it a little bit more useful. So I time traveled a day forward. I ended up ordering a lot of stuff from the Nook app. And now I'm just adding all of these finishing little touches on the other two houses. And then I will start working on my own. So I knew that I wanted my house to be very green with a lot of plants everywhere. But because my house doesn't have much space to decorate, I was having a lot of difficulty figuring out where to put things, but eventually I figured it out. Something I wish that the game would have is the ability to adjust those items that you put on the ground by moving them. I just feel like it's such a hassle picking it up and putting it down again to make sure it's in the right spot. Right now, on the left of my house, there is a huge field of flowers on the beach, and eventually that will go till I figure out where I want to use them or if I will be using them on my island. I have no ideas what I want to do with that beach, but hopefully in the future I can record something once I figure it out. So I decided to put down this antique mini table with the iron garden chair. I really love the way that these are paired together. I think they look so beautiful. just felt like it might be a little too much, but maybe in the future if I still feel like it's a little bare, I can add that in. Something I love to do when I have little areas that I need to decorate but have nothing to put there is I use the cardboard boxes and I put some cushions on top of them, and I feel like they really make a place look more full. That's something I do almost everywhere on my island. So once I put down the fencing, I decided to add some seating to this area. I opted for these iron garden benches. I couldn't really decide what color worked better, either black or green. Eventually, I ended up going for the black, just because I felt like it blended in a little more. I actually tried to pick up the green one. I found Diana sitting on it and eating a donut. And it turns out she was actually sitting in there for like a good 10 minutes, and I had to keep going in and out of my house, hoping that she would just move. I am now just trying to see if I could fill up this space with some hedges, but it looked a little bulky to me, so I ended up just putting some black cosmos instead. So finally Diana moved and I was able to customize the garden bench. Now I am just adding in the final touches, so some signposts. I felt like the floor was still a little bare, so I ended up crafting some leaf piles, and then I just started to put them under random trees. Now the final touch is decorating my door with a chic Cosmo wreath. So that's the final look, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I hope you guys enjoy it too and like it. Eventually I will get to the other areas like the beach, the airport entrance, and what comes behind. I think I'm going to start working on the back of this neighborhood, which I plan to make a train station. Hopefully that would be my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, then subscribe if you'd like. I will also leave my Instagram link below for those of you who are interested in my island. And before I go, I just want to say happy holidays, and to those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. I hope you and your family have a wonderful time together, and for those of you who aren't able to be with your family, I hope you have a wonderful time as well. I guess that's it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.